Hello, this is a continuation of the October 5th reading. The camera shut down for, I don't know, maybe a ghost turned it off. I don't understand why it did that, but I was saying about yesterday's baggage. Let me just read the book. We'll just start right at the top again, because this will be a whole new video. Yesterday's baggage. For the wise have always known that no one man can make much of his life until self-searching becomes a regular habit. That's one thing. Until he is able to admit and accept what he finds. That's two things. And until he patiently and persistently tries to correct what is wrong. That's three things. 12 steps, that can be found in the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book. One such version looks like this on page 88. I have more than enough to handle today without dragging along yesterday's baggage too. I must balance today's books if I am to have a chance tomorrow. So I ask myself if I have erred, and how I can avoid repeating that particular behavior. Did I hurt anyone? Did I help anyone? And why? Some of today is bound to spill over into tomorrow, but most of it need not if I make an honest daily inventory. Now I forget exactly where this particular video started, but I'm going to go backwards through this. Some of today is bound to spill over into tomorrow, but most of it need not if I make an honest daily inventory. And at the surface level, I wonder what is wrong with having some of the good from yesterday spill over into today. Right this second, I can't come up with a reason why that might not be helpful. Maybe you wake up in some kind of mood that isn't helpful, motivating, or inspiring. And then you remember, this is another benefit maybe of doing an inventory first thing in the morning. For why else do people say, let's sleep on it and think, talk about it tomorrow in the morning. Sleep on it, period. When you come to in the morning or the afternoon, if you're that type of person, your subconscious has been working on stuff all night long. Chances are, well, anyways, I don't want to get all into that. My point is, and I think what they mean here also, and if I had read this chapter yet, about the 10th step in this book, which I am going to do shortly. I intend on doing it before the 10th of October, I think. And so that's a few days. My neck is jacked up. We got 5. I got something on the 10th. I got something on Thursday, the 9th. Gives me, and I got something Wednesday. Got 2 days to read the, anyways. The bad stuff. I must balance today's books if I, and I'm going to paraphrase this, if I am even to have a chance tomorrow. Here's part of my reasoning or thinking on why maybe some of the good stuff from yesterday, if I do a morning inventory, it's like, there were good things yesterday, more of that. Let's have that today. Let's work on those things. The bad stuff, I just don't want to have any bad stuff today. So that's like the 7-step prayer where you ask that all these, the bad stuffness inside you, you give that to your higher power person. I wish I had written these 4 things down the last couple days about, I was trying to jam these 4 things together about the 10th step, a daily inventory, your higher power, and 2 other things. I guess a personal inventory, if I didn't just say that, and some other thing. My brain's feeling hurt today. It's probably got to do with the neck. and I'm losing my place. Working backwards, some of today bounded, the good stuff and the bad stuff. Why maybe the good stuff would be helpful today. It's like, well, that's, this might be the way I find useful to me to think about stuff. Let's imagine this. If today's title, yesterday's baggage, let's just think everything yesterday was good. And then for the bad stuff, it would be just the less good of all the much better of all of yesterday. So that, because when people say, and when I say good and bad, where's the line? What's the bar set at? What's your idea of good and bad? Is that a moral thing? Is it a quantity thing? Or there's just a lot of variables, maybe. So it's a way for me to think about it. Maybe yesterday was satisfactory for me. Some of that spilling over in today, this morning. Like, I don't remember exactly what I was thinking this morning. I can kind of get a dim, vague idea that I was thinking about doing this reading today, and I had read it last night, last thing before I went to sleep, yesterday's baggage. And I thought, that's pretty simple. It could be pretty simple. It might be really simple for anybody other than me, but you're stuck with me doing this today, and you get to watch me try and figure this out. Because, like I had said earlier this month, I've got some kind of thing going on. My cat's underneath the chair. I don't want to run her over if I get excited and start wheeling the chair around. Man, I got to watch what I'm thinking about, because I've got a very loose grip on today, I guess. Here, what was I thinking today? I was going to read this. I thought it might be easy, simple. Yesterday's baggage. I know the pitfalls of dragging around a bunch of resentment and stuff. That's why I added a word, even if I am even to have a chance tomorrow. If you're thinking about that today, I must balance today's books if I'm to have a chance tomorrow. So I ask myself, have I erred, and how can I avoid repeating that particular behavior? Did I hurt anyone? Did I help anyone? And why? Some of today is bound to spill over into tomorrow, but most of it need not if I make an honest daily inventory. If I look at it this way, I gave up on that imagining yesterday it was a perfect world kind of day, and some of that good spilling over in today would be okay, acceptable on the surface level. Let's just leave that at that, and now think about correcting mistakes. So I ask myself if I have made mistakes, and how can I avoid making that particular mistake again? Was the mistake, just to open another can of worms, if the mistake was by helping someone that maybe you shouldn't have tried to help, because that can happen, or the mistake was by going out of your way to intentionally harm someone again with a terse or a angry, sharp word. These things, that's the daily inventory part of the day. At the end of the day, that you take a look at how you acted today, your behaviors. How did you interact with people? Primarily, I would say. Corporations too, whatever. But people are in there somewhere. And if we're at the end of the day, if we're looking at it and it's like we're cringing because of, oh, that was hurtful. Why did I could have handled that so much better. Those kind of thoughts. Let's say you have 5 of those thoughts. Let's say you have 500 of those thoughts. I don't think there's a big difference because it's the, let's read the 10th step. Well, and let's say you have 5 good thoughts or good behaviors during the day also, and 500 good, or you might have 500 good things, good and bad again. See, right, that it's helpful and non-helpful would be kind of what I'm looking at here. And this mistake making, we don't want to keep making the same mistake, especially if it's harming ourselves and other people. That eventually that's going to end up killing, destroying utterly. Think about that. You take enough hits, they mount up. Something is going to break. The 10th step says, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Let me talk about promptly admitting your mistakes. Back when I drank, I would make mistakes all day long. Let's say that. Never had a good thing, ever, any day. Just bad, 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 less than helpful all throughout the day with every interaction, everywhere I went. It was all about me getting drunk, okay? That's the worst possible, well, that's among the worst possible pictures I can draw of myself for us. So, number one, I had no motivation to even look at the day because I knew it was full of just garbage, and all I wanted to do was drink because of that garbage. It would seep in and start telling me I'm a bad person and all these kind of things, and then I would drink to drown all that, and it worked for some period of time, and then it didn't work for a period of time, yet I continued the drinking. We're going to have to unpackage that later, maybe, unless I hit it here. That when I got here, a stark contrast, just bad, less than helpful all day long while drinking. And then when I quit drinking, let's put a 2-year gap here, where I was a dry drunk. I had just quit drinking, but I still had the ism part of the alcoholism. I've talked lightly on that earlier in different videos. And then when I started to understand a bit more, probably a couple of physical things happened. My brain started coming back. It was just pickled in alcohol. Literally, probably. Not just figuratively. With a BAC, a blood alcohol content, elevated to some point, you die. A human being will cease functioning. Because you're... anyways. So all that alcohol in the blood circulating through the brain, I don't think was being much of a good thing or helpful. Where am I? You know what happened today? I drank caffeine. A lot of it. In a energy drink. It just like a full bottle of something like this. I had 3-4 ounces of this stuff. And I'm just not thinking well. I don't feel tired. That's part of the problem. I'm not at peace. I'm not calm. I'm not rested. And you could say I'm not at ease. I'm in dis-ease by contamination by caffeine. Go figure. Anyhow, helping other people. Step 10. The daily thing, inventory, when I'm wrong, promptly admit it. I was going to give you an example that, well, I did kind of. All the bad picture I painted of myself, and then that propelled the drinking, the intensity, the quantity, the need for being drunk, and then that didn't work, and then I didn't know what to do, basically. Alcoholic paradox thing, the alcoholic's paradox. I'm jumping all over the joint. A couple of years, the brain dried out. Got less pickled. The thinking was getting clearer. because I remember way back I was saying the two things that I kept dear to my heart because of desperation was, and the motivation beyond the desperation. There's a bunch to unpackage there. For myself, for my own good, I wanted to live. I didn't know how anymore, but somewhere, something inside of me wanted to live. I'm not going to try and explain that today either. So, and all I knew for the first couple of years was if I just need to physically stay away from alcohol, if I'm not even close enough, if it's always less or more than an arm's reach away physically, the proximity, I will not be able to pick it up and drink it if it is always more than an arm's reach away from me. You could get a stick and grab it or whatever, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, if I don't pick up, don't drink, go to meetings, get a sponsor. That is burned in here. So I didn't drink and I went to meetings. I did those two things. Getting a sponsor took me a couple years, 3 years maybe. Which, that isn't the brightest way of going about this thing. In the level of desperation I was at, I was ready, I thought, to try anything. But there's willingness kind of before anything will happen. I had to be willing to think, number one, I needed a sponsor. So I hadn't really came to grips with the first step yet. 2 years into the program. Maybe. I didn't fully understand it. I don't know if I fully understand anyhow, about the first. So I do these steps all the time. And I might have mentioned in today's video, just for even simple things that don't seem to be founded in alcoholism maybe. These steps work. I don't want to try and explain that either with the tenuous grip on reality I have today with the caffeine in my system. Daily inventory. If I don't do that, I like to drink over the problems that I cause every day, or that I used to and all that. Now that I'm endeavoring to not cause problems in life, that's kind of the basis, lowest level, the one that takes the least effort for me each day, is to just not cause any more damage or harm. I don't know if that's simple or easy or how that's coming across to you. But I think of it in at least this one way, is that I can be lazy. These little things I perceive as some kind of threat to me that I want to get aggravated about and then get angry about, that pathway I think ultimately leads to alcohol abuse and maybe practicing alcoholic death. And it could be the next time I start picking up alcohol. Like today, I had some real caffeine, and man, it is powerful. I'm afraid to even imagine what would happen if I thought I could have a glass of wine or something. Because I know who I am, at least as an alcoholic. And I've quit trying to figure all that out. Also, I made a video kind of talking about that. Whatever it is, I know I have some kind of problem with alcohol. And I can't stop drinking the stuff when I start. Or at least, that I can't stop. Yeah, you can. Because you'll eventually just pass out and then you stop. That kind of thing. So I think about things way too intently sometimes. Because I like loopholes, I think. And the laziness. Okay, so some situation in the day bugging me, pressing my button or whatever it is. If I just ignore it somehow, that would seem to me the least output of energy. That's lazy. It's like, isn't it nice to be lazy? Sometimes, yes. It's like, you know what? Let all that stuff in the world happen. Okay, here's the thing about the higher power in the daily inventory and looking for your wrongs and then trying to admit right away. The right away admitting to the wrong stuff that you may have done, like on the spot. You have an interaction with another human that you walk away from and you're breathing fast, you're sweating, your face is red, your veins are popping, and the guy's laying on the ground because you hit him. That's a graphic illustration. Right then, maybe, wouldn't be the best time to try and pick this person up and say, I'm sorry for striking you for whatever reason. Because I'm a jerk, I'm an alcoholic, and I'm having a rough day, I don't think it's going to cut it. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing about this because it happens. I know it happens. To the best of your ability, right in the interaction. Number one, prevention would be the best way, I think. 21 minutes. I got to wrap this up or just make it a point right here to go into part two. During an interaction, leave that interaction the best way possible, with no blood spilt, no raw feelings, and everybody with smiles. Let's think about that. And I'll try to explain in part two. So thank you for coming by here today. And I'll see you in part two, I hope. Goodbye.